Hi everyone, Aldbar here. This is my solo walkthrough for the level 15 heroic quest Creeping Death on the elite difficulty and the QuickStick PlayGuide for level 17. Enjoy! Hi everyone, Warjack here. This quest takes place in Meridia. This is one of the two flagging quests for the legendary shroud. We can do this also on heroic.
Meth, a representative of the 12, waits to speak to you as you descend into the sewers. Shouts from below can be heard in the next chamber. A poisonous vapor bubbles up from the water below, slaying those without magical protection. Garko the kobold stands suspended within Death Touch, the gelatinous cube. Before you can react, the huge corrosive ooze effortlessly consumes the members of the 12 on the platform.
Here I've got a light armor that I got from the Silver Flame Nugget, who gives me a 14-minute shield clicky. You get something very similar from the Maybar event. Also, I'm going to use my one shot of Greater Heroism and make sure I also got Death Ward. Also, I'm going to take one charge of shield. Not that I need it for the magic missile, but some extra AC. Here, I boost up every time I face a whole bunch of enemies. Then I go to town on everybody using all of my 360 cleave attacks. So the Whirlwind attack and the Sweeping Strike, Staff Lunge, and also jumping through everything using Spring attack. Every once in a while I also throw in a trip or a sunder just for good measure. As the game gets older, the newer quests that are added suffer from power creep. That means because all the items get better and the players get much stronger, to make the quest challenging, they always make the quests a little bit harder. So this is a significant step up from other level 15 quests at the same range. And it can be particularly hard if you're not expecting it. The quarterstaff I'm using here comes from the Black Abbot raid. This is an upgraded version. You can see I keep on blinding enemies. That's from the quarterstaff. Also makes them get, well, it gives them fear. It also knocks over enemies, so not all my trips are because of my Sweeping Strike, but some of them are just because of the quarterstaff. Note about Spring attack. While it allows you to jump through enemies, I don't think you can activate it if you're stuck in place. So Sweeping Strike, Staff Lunge will allow you to get out of a bunch of enemies if you're stuck and you can't move at all. With Spring attack you have to be able to move a little bit. So that's why I jump out of the group of enemies and jump through them. I mean, you can see over here, this kobold sometimes with 2,000 hit points. This is level 17. I mean, this is a lot, relatively speaking, for this level. I have an item called Ring of the Stalker, who adds Manslayer to all of my 20, or my critical hits when I roll a 20. Manslayer basically acts like Vorpal, so you can assume that I've got, well, let's just call it I have Vorpal on every weapon, on my weapon. No matter what weapon it is, it's hitting. Well, I'll roll a Vorpal if I hit a 20. Here I've got to face off a bunch of oozes, and they can ruin my weapon. So I've got this quarterstaff. I think it's called the Dream Piercer. It comes from the Storm Reaver raid. It's level 14, and it's the one item from that raid was actually bound to a counter when you get it. And you can upgrade it twice. Once from the Storm Reaver Monument, and then another time you can upgrade it in the Dream Forge. And it'll give you Force Burst, and it will give you Holy. So I really like this because when it hits a 20, it gives you negative levels. Actually, I think anytime it hits a critical hit, it gives negative levels, and I've always wanted an excuse to use it, but it really is outdated and terrible. So now it just becomes my ooze beater, since it's made out of crystal. I love it, and I don't care, so if I got an excuse to use it, I will. Also, these traps can be really deadly. Especially on epic levels, they can one-shot you. Okay, most of this quest is pretty straightforward. The main objective over here is there is a kobold who's inside of this big gelatinous cube. Now, if you touch the gelatinous cube in any way, no matter what you've got on you, you're gonna instantaneously die. So basically what we do is we go down this, well, maze of tunnels, and we have to keep on opening up the way for the gelatinous cube until we get to face off against the boss himself. It's pretty straightforward. Basically, don't touch the gelatinous cube. That's it. Also, that entrance room we stepped into, there's the DM telling you not to jump down. If you do jump down, you will die. Just in case. Anyways, the shrine over here is for, I think it's a, you can't come back up, so I'm going to use it. Anyways, if you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. As usual, every time I take a nap, this is my chance to ask you, or to remind you. So, anyways, thank you. Here we go. There's a resurrection shrine right over here at the end, because more often than not, this will surprise you and you will die. So, just in case you do, you don't have to start again.
Garco slides down the hallway inside his servant, Death Touch the gelatinous cube. A single touch from the corrosive ooze could prove deadly.
Anyways, we need to kill that kobold at the end of this quest. But first we have to open up the way for him. These gates are funny. You can both click on the gate or on the valve next to it to open them. They can allow you to get out of the way if the cube's coming down the hallway. As you can see, you can stand inside of these cubby holes and you're safe. It only stays on the main path, and it won't change directions just to try to surprise you. It's got a predetermined path. So if you follow it and you scout the way it's going, you shouldn't have any problem. It shouldn't surprise you. I have to mention that the DCs on the traps over here are pretty high. Everything about this quest is all scaled up. Anyways, this is my play guide for like the mid-level. I mean, 15 would be the middle. I'm doing this on Elite, so 17, but you get the point.
Before you stand 3 runes, placed here by members of the 12. The runes create a sigil when activated. This sigil will depower Garco and teleport him to the corresponding sigil.
If you don't know what the QuickStick Build is, I made a full-length build guide you can watch on the channel. or you can just watch it for this quest if you want. Anyways, this room we have to activate some switches, and they'll all open up the gate for us. This room requires some Mario skills. There's some extra levers on the way that'll allow you to climb back up, just in case you fall down so you don't have to lose all of your progress. Like this, for instance. I just opened up that ladder. That saved me a long time. Anyways, this is the first one. I think there's a total of 3 in this room. That was close. This, I believe that opens up an air cannon that blows you back to that point if you fall down. Here I over jumped it. I used my double jump instead of just using the regular jump. They've got like a whole bunch of metal pipes to stop you so you don't fly past it. Yeah, I'm just using one long jump, using Volt to get across. I'm just waiting for the Volt to come off cooldown. Then I can do a double jump all the way to the other side. That's it, we've got all 3 switches, we can get out of here now.
A hum can be heard from the hallway outside. The teleportation sigil.
There might be some collectible in the water over there, I didn't check. I wouldn't be surprised if there was though. Gotta wait for the gelatinous cube to come back. She's gonna step on this rune, the circle on the floor. And I'll open up the barrier to right next to me. Let's go see where he is. Oh, here he comes. One of the things I like about this build is if you make sure to use your monk fists of light, you should have plenty of healing, and you won't have to heal yourself up that often. If you do, you always have the healing hands, who's the Asmar big healing boost. I'm gonna rebuff meanwhile because I gotta wait for him to come and step on that circle. If you stand here and the circle is not activated, he's gonna squash you. There we go.
The gelatinous cube when Garco strikes the city.
Anyways, this opens up the way.
Kobold vanishes, teleported to a different section of the sewer complex.
This quest is full of these, I guess, generic monsters. Feels like the waterworks all over again. Kobolds and oozes. But everybody's really boosted and buffed up. As you can see, my gameplay is basically the same. In all situations, I try to get everybody standing together, and then I just use all of my cleave attacks. So that's the whirlwind, and then, you know, sweeping strike and quick strike for the actual double strike, and staff lunge and spring attack. As long as I keep on using all the different special attacks, I should go through everybody with no problem. Sometimes I use spring attack to get past a trap. It bursts you, it makes you jump past it really fast. You can also use Volt, I mean, whatever. Using a long jump doesn't always work, but sometimes it's fast enough that before the trap triggers, you're already past it. Here is my other action boost. I've got a haste boost and I've got an attack and damage boost. So if I want to save up my haste boost for a fight that I feel will be more important, so then I can always use my attack and damage boost. The real reason why I have so many action boosts is more for the end game, when I've got my sentient weapon, uses the prowess set, which benefits from every time I use an action boost. It gives me tons of extra, gives me a whole bunch of extra melee power. So the more charges I have, the better. But right now it's very useful also. This barrier keeps on reclosing, so make sure you don't get yourself trapped. You can open it back, just like I did here. Just don't panic.
The poisonous vapor seems to have dissipated in your absence.
Be careful, don't tailgate. You might bump into something that will instant kill you.
The second sigil can be seen on the far side of the drawbridge.
Yeah, this is the big entrance room. If you would have jumped down from the top, you would have died instantaneously. Anyways, over here we've got the face-off against the boss. Then we'll open up the way.
A fearsome horned devil stands between you and the rune you need.
One of the problems you have with big red named bosses is they've got heavy fortification, and your critical hits don't really work. Here I'm going to change from my power attack to combat expertise and change my stance also to earth. This will give me more hit points and will give me much better AC. Then I'm going to go attacking and get rid of all the oozes first so I can use my main weapon. Or whatever weapon I'm planning, but not this ooze beater. Okay, now we're done with all those oozes. Okay, this quarterstaff, I believe, comes from one of the Archon quests. Now you can look, as I'm hitting him, there's this debuff. With me breaking his fortification. This comes from Improved Destruction. I've got an ability who adds Improved Destruction to all of my quarterstaffs. So as I attack, well actually to any weapon used, but as I attack, it puts on this big stack of Improved Destruction. It basically takes away his fortification. Now I've got a good chance of hitting critical hits. Again, I'm always using my cleave attacks. The whirlwind attack and the sweeping strike. Both of them have extra weapon damage on them. So even though he's a single target, it still helps me with overall damage.
The rune sparks to life as the lever is pulled.
Yeah, I'm going to turn back my regular stance, who usually is power attack and fire stance. Fire stance, as you upgrade it, adds +1 to your critical multiplier on 19 and 20. So as I said before, that's only assuming you can actually hit somebody with a critical hit. If you can't hit him with a critical hit, it's useless. Here I'm going to rest again just before I leave this room. And yeah, and you guessed it, if you haven't already, please hit like and subscribe. Thank you, I appreciate it very much. Here's something really beautiful about the ability called Volt. Volt is really a long jump, but actually just boosts you forward. And guess what? It also works underwater. I love it. It's also directional while it's underwater. That means you can boost and go down or up. It's really, really fun. This next part, as soon as you step on it, it falls, drops, and there's oozes down at the bottom. Then you have to jump across a whole bunch of pillars, and it's really, really tricky. Yeah, but I think you know what's going to happen now, right? Ta-da! Do a double long jump. And I just bypassed the whole thing. If you didn't notice, pulling that lever, it despawns all of the oozes. You don't have to actually fight them. Spring attack doesn't work underwater. It's only Volt that works underwater. Of course, you have to have a quarterstaff, but it's great that it works underwater. Anyways, all of that we just did now lowers a bridge. And now the gelatinous cube can cross this bridge and get to the next sigil. Once he does, it'll open up the gate for us, or this barrier for us. Yeah, so now just sit around and wait. We got a clicky with Protection of Evil that I bought with adamantite ore. You can look it up in the wiki if you want to know exactly more about it.
Garko curses as he strikes the
There we go.
second sigil.
Way's open.
A flash of magic teleports him further into the complex. Hostile sewer denizens bar your progress further into the sewer.
I decided to be a coward and use my Harper pin. I didn't want to risk dying. You see that like white circle above monsters? That means I marked them. A marked monster means if I hit him, it will heal me back up. You'll see these small amounts of healing, 1 or 2 points. That big boost was from the healing hands from Asima. You can see why the Aasimar healing hands is so powerful, but you could definitely do this as a human and use scrolls or something. It's just, I don't like it that much. I like being able to heal while I've got my main weapon in my hand, not have to swap out for scrolls. But it's definitely viable. It's an option. This quest was introduced to DDO after Warlock was introduced into the game. As you probably know, Warlock is one of the big trash removers, so being able to play Warlock in a quest like this was easy. He would just come in and just blast everything and everything would die. But as a melee, if you're still hitting one target at a time, this was really, really, really painful. You'd be exhausted and worn out by the time you finish this quest. You'd have to go after every target basically by itself. There's tons of targets. So being able to do all these 360 cleaves really speeds things up. thing I really hate about these oozes is they don't allow you to use your main weapon. So they effectively cut down your DPS because you're using a suboptimal weapon. Here I finally realized that I was wearing the wrong braces the whole time. My main braces have permanent blur on them. They're just a green steel pair of braces with elemental energy, I think it's called. Whatever it is, the one that gives you hit points. So it's 45 hit points in permanent blur, and a double clicky of displacement. I believe I heard Axel recommend it in one of his videos. One thing to note is once you have a finishing move active, if you pick up something or activate something, it dispels the finishing move. So if you're running around and you're continuously hitting everything with monk fists of light, and then before you use your finishing move or in the middle someplace, you pick up a collectible bag, it's going to keep on disrupting your chain. You're going to have to do 3 whole attacks again. So keep this in mind. Like if you want to use the healing, wait until you're finished with the fight and use your healing charge before you start picking up mysterious remnants and collectible bags or pulling the next lever. Something that I had to get used to. That's why you see me lots of times I'll be shining white and I'll just stop, even though it seems at random, and use my healing finishing move, because I know if I don't use it, it's going to end up being wasted as soon as I pick up something. Anyways, here's the final time we have to set we'll turn on the sigil or whatever it
A
is.
series of symbols are etched on the ground. They seem to control the drawbridge.
Basically, we have to open up the way for the ooze. We got these runes on the floor. You only have to activate the runes. Make sure you don't get too absorbed in the puzzle. Watch where the gelatinous cube is at. You know, you don't have to spend time arranging all of those dead ends. What are you talking about? I'm a perfectionist who's been presented an opportunity to completely solve a puzzle. I have to do it. Look how nice that looks.
The drawbridge lowers and the last sigil appears.
There's a collectible over here.
Ready for its victim.
And this is where the sigil is, where he has to step on it. I love jumping around, it's great.
The sigil fires and the gelatinous cube melts away from Garco. In a flash,
The fact that both of my
the
long
gold
jumps
is
don't cost any
teleported
spell
further in the
points
complex.
means that I never actually run out of them. Also, it's nice having a fight without a whole bunch of oozes so I can use my main weapon again. Spoke too fast. Yeah, this quest is definitely one of the tougher quests at level. I think it's a bit disproportionate, and ultimately it's made to be run with a party. So don't be disappointed if you find it just a little too hard. I think it's not properly balanced, well, relative to all the rest of the quests. Again, it might depend on what you're playing. If you're playing something that's got lots of AoEs, I don't know, sorcerer, wizard, warlock, something like that, might be super easy. Because you blast everything, it doesn't make a difference if it's a 1 or 10 monsters. That's a melee, this can be challenging. Anyways, here we go. This is the end fight. The buff for last time. Get my night shield on. That's to prevent the magic missiles. As you see here, I've got 3 of these goggles, flesh renderer goggles, from the Tangle end of the chain. And use one of these clickies. Put some displacement on.
Garko the Great stands before you, now stripped of his deadly coating.
Yeah, I've got my ooze beater out because I know there's going to be some oozes soon. Like I mentioned before a whole bunch of times, even when I fight a single target, I'm going to still use all my cleave attacks because it's not just the fact that they can hit everything around them, it's also that they actually have extra weapon damage. So, whirlwind attack is +4. Sweeping strike is +5, and staff lunge is +6. Not sure how many enemies you need to kill for conquest or whatever it is. I'm just like clearing out a few more rounds while I'm at it.
Garko crumples in defeat.
Anyways, killing the boss gets rid of all the monsters in the room, so if you have a problem with that, just kill him fast as possible and get out. Also, those traps at the top blow you off, so you can't stand over there and snipe enemies. Yeah, there we go. We got Conquest, we got the 30 for the traps, and 15 for the breakables. Anyways, if you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you've benefited from this guide, or were entertained at least by the walkthrough, also, be sure to hit like and subscribe. You might want to go check out the rest of my videos, or the build guide itself, where I show how to make this character. Anyways, see you over there. Bye.